Hello. My name is Emily, and today I want to share with you one of the biggest experiences in my life, moving from my old house to a new one. It was not just about packing boxes and changing addresses. It was about leaving behind memories, feelings, and a place that had been a part of me for so many years. This story is long and emotional, but I hope you enjoy it because it changed me in many ways. Remember, friends, if you want to improve your English, just listen and repeat. Listen carefully, repeat many times, and soon the words will feel natural. It really works. I grew up in a small, cozy house in the suburbs. Our old house was not big, but it was warm, filled with love, and full of memories. The walls were painted light yellow, and the living room always smelled like my mother's coffee in the morning. My bedroom was my favorite place in the world. It had a small window that looked out onto a big oak tree. Every autumn, the leaves would turn golden, and I would sit by the window with a book, watching them fall one by one. The floor was wooden, and it creaked whenever I walked across it. At night, the sound was scary, but it also reminded me that I was home. In that house, I celebrated birthdays, Christmas dinners, and countless family evenings. I learned how to ride a bike in the driveway, and I cried on the stairs when I failed a math test. That house held all my emotions: happiness, sadness, excitement, and fear. It was my safe place. But life is always changing. My parents told me that we had to move. They wanted a bigger house in a quieter neighborhood, closer to my father's new job. At first, I felt angry and sad. I didn't want to leave. The old house felt like part of me, and I couldn't imagine saying goodbye. The decision was final, so we had to start preparing. Moving means packing, and packing means looking at every single thing you own and deciding if it goes with you or not. I started in my bedroom. I opened my closet and saw clothes I hadn't worn in years. Some of them reminded me of middle school, of friends I no longer saw. Others were too small, but they brought back funny memories. I laughed at some old dresses and even cried when I found my first teddy bear. Packing was like walking through my own history. Every book, every photograph, every little souvenir had a story. Sometimes I stopped for hours just to remember. My mother kept telling me, "Emily, please keep moving. We don't have forever." But for me, it wasn't just packing, it was saying goodbye. One day, I went into the kitchen and saw my father carefully wrapping glasses in newspaper. I asked him, "Dad, do you feel sad about leaving?" He looked at me and smiled. "Yes, but I also feel excited. Sometimes, Emily, we need to close one chapter to open another." That made me think. Maybe moving was not only about leaving. Maybe it was also about beginning something new. The night before the move was the hardest. Most of the rooms were empty, with boxes stacked against the walls. The house looked different, almost like a stranger. I couldn't believe that this was the same place where I had grown up. I walked around, touching the walls, the doors, even the windows. I remembered the time I accidentally broke the window with a baseball, and the time I painted the wall with crayons when I was 6. Every corner had a memory. I slept on a mattress on the floor because my bed was already packed. That night, I couldn't close my eyes. I kept listening to the familiar sounds, the creaking floor, the wind through the oak tree, the distant barking of the neighbor's dog. I thought, tomorrow I will never hear these sounds again. Tears rolled down my face, but deep inside, I knew it was time. The next morning, the movers arrived with a big truck. They carried boxes, furniture, and bags. Everything happened so fast. I tried to help, but I mostly stood there, watching pieces of my life disappear into the truck. The first week was strange. I sometimes woke up and forgot where I was. At night, I missed the sound of the oak tree outside my old window, but slowly things started to change. I decorated my new room with posters, lights, and my favorite books. I hung pictures of my friends and family. I placed my teddy bear on the bed, and suddenly the room felt warmer. I also explored the new neighborhood. There was a park nearby where kids played soccer and a small bakery that sold the best chocolate muffins. I started to like the area more and more. One evening, I sat by my new window and watched the sunset. The sky turned pink and orange, and I realized something important. A house is just walls and a roof. What makes it a home are the people inside it and the memories you create. Now, months later, I can say that moving was one of the best experiences of my life. It taught me that change is not something to fear. Yes, leaving my old house was painful, but it also gave me the chance to grow, to see new things, and to build new memories. When I look back, I smile at the memories of my old home, but I also smile at the new ones I am making every day in this new place. Life is a journey, and sometimes moving forward means leaving something behind. So this is my story. Moving from my old house to my new one was not just about boxes and furniture. It was about memories, emotions, and growth. I learned that every ending is also a beginning, and every goodbye makes space for a new hello. If you ever have to move, Don't be afraid. Yes, you will cry. And yes, you will miss the past. But trust me, the future has so much to offer. And your new home can become just as special as the old one, maybe even more.